You're listening to Heroes in the Moment. What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today, it's the Week in a Flash.
Come on, baby. Let's get it.
Super excited for this Week's in a Flash. We got all kinds of great news in Marvel and DC. And then, of course, we've got our challenge that you guys voted on. And this week, you guys voted on who would win in a fight. So we're going to do 3 individual who would win in a fight challenges and see who would win. But before we get into it, we have
versus
to...
Michael.
Do what?
No, I'm just kidding. I was thinking of other hypotheticals.
Dude, me versus you.
Yeah, but
that would be an interesting
But like
outcome.
one of us is wearing like a suit of armor, and then the other one is wearing like a Speedo. You know what I'm saying?
Take Speedo all the way, man.
Because you'd be free and you can move fast, but with the suit you're protected, but you'd be really slow. Yeah, think about that,
dude.
That's what they're doing like in the gladiator days. Because when they throw the gladiators in, they were throwing like different combinations of swords and armors to make it entertaining.
What weapons would we get? Give me a mace.
Oh man, mace would be that'd be cool. I feel like what would be really good would be like a trident, like a pitchfork thingy, because it's long.
Give the Speedo guy trident, and then the armor guy mace.
You're just like a Kmart Aquaman.
Yeah, Kmart Aquaman,
like a redneck Aquaman with your pitchfork and Speedo.
Yeah,
you got a Mountain Dew in one hand too.
That's it. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, man.
All right, but before we get into today's podcast, we have to give a big shout out to James Earl Jones, as most of you know, passed away this past week. Legendary actor, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader, Mufasa,
yeah.
Field of Dreams, Sandlot, all kinds of other great iconic roles that he did over his lifetime. Just what an amazing actor
man.
and voice.
He brought to life, one of the, if not the greatest, cinematic villain of all time.
Yep, absolutely.
And Lion King is one of the best, if not the best, animated movie there is. So
an inspirational
he
voice
was
there.
Huge, man.
He was an absolutely huge, very lovable character. So a little moment in silence in honor of James Earl Jones. All right, so today we're going to start with all over DC news. So we've got all kinds of interesting stuff for DC. The first thing being, interestingly enough, the script for Constantine 2 is reportedly finished with Keanu Reeves coming back.
I love it.
What?
I love it.
Okay, first off, I've never even seen the original Constantine.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. It's like, I watched probably a year ago. I was, like when you're sick and you just have an unlimited amount of time. Sometimes you watch movies that you wouldn't normally watch.
Yep.
I think this is one of those cases. Not because, I wasn't interested in the premise, but I heard it wasn't great. I'd probably give it like a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's a decent movie. He's obviously gotten a lot better as an actor. But I'm surprised really that he's coming back for this. I didn't know he loved this role so much.
I knew he loved it because he did say on one talk show or whatever he'd love to come back as Constantine. I just find it interesting. Naturally this is going to be an Elseworlds project, right, in the world of DC. It's not going to be in the DCU, I don't believe, but I don't know. Keanu Reeves, he's advocated. He said he's loved to play Constantine again. So I don't know. Do you know who's doing the script?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
So who knows? It could be like one of them Morbius situations.
Yeah. Or
it could be maybe like a really sleeper build movie. I don't know.
You know who'd be so good would be Raimi directing this movie. Because, the whole thing is like him fighting, the evils and supernatural forces. So just getting someone who's like well versed in that realm. Sure. Kind of like a Multiverse of Madness kind of, feel. I think would be really cool.
I think he probably would be a good pick, like doing that supernatural aspect, a little bit of horror aspect to it.
Yeah,
would probably be a positive thing for this movie, depending. So I could see this going one of two ways. I can see it either being like, wow, really sleeper movie going to be really good, or being really bad.
And even if it's like really bad, like people are gonna come out to see it.
Oh yeah,
he's a big character. People like when you talk about people that people love, man, these A-listers. Keanu at least is in the top 3.
Then again, I think of Matrix 4, which was just absolutely terrible.
That was trash.
And did not do well at all. So
it made a decent amount, but it was definitely not what they were expecting it to make.
Not at all. Not at all.
Just make John Wick 5 too while you're at it, man. I know they're working on that.
Give us John Wick 5.
My favorite. I love John Wick.
Yep, that'd be cool. All right, next piece of news is that it's been reported that Josh Brolin and Matthew McConaughey have declined the role of Hal Jordan and said no, thank you.
All right. I really would have liked Matthew McConaughey would have been funny if nothing else.
But he's just not Hal Jordan.
No, he's not Hal Jordan.
He's not Hal Jordan. But
all right.
Josh Brolin, I like as an older Hal Jordan. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But I really don't want an older Hal Jordan. If anything,
I want
give
a
it to Chris
one.
Pine. I mean, if you're gonna go older, give it to Chris Pine.
Which is crazy because he's like 50 something too.
Yep.
He just looks a little younger. I'm pretty sure. But I'm not surprised. Who else is next on their short list? I think it's like Ewan McGregor.
And then one other, correct?
There's somebody else. I
can't even think of, but I think somebody else is not as known.
Yeah.
But Chris Pine would be the best if they're going for the older version. Chris Pine would be my pick. So we'll see how they do that and what they confirm or who confirms it. Next piece of news when it comes to DC is the brand new name. Well, maybe not brand new, but more established name for our Penguin in Matt Reeves' Batman universe. You want to tell?
Yeah. Okay, so y'all know how Matt Reeves has been, really pushing this really grounded take, right, of Batman, which, it can be cool in some senses. It's not cool when you say that, we're probably never going to touch Clayface and Poison Ivy and, all these more fantastical villains. That kind of hurts my feelings. But, kind of in accordance with that more, rejection of the fantastical stuff, he's taken, Oswald Cobblepot's name and he's shortening it to Oz Cobb. Officially.
Oz Cobb.
Oz Cobb. Because apparently, this is so stupid. I should probably say it before I give my opinion. He thinks Oswald Cobblepot is too fantastical for his universe.
I disagree.
What do you mean, man?
If you want to call him Oz Cobblepot instead of Oswald, sure, I get that. But Oz Cobb,
you have a billionaire that runs around at night in a bat suit.
Yeah,
and you're telling me
Oswald Cobblepot's too fantastical.
It's crazier than that.
Yeah. That's
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He also wears mascara around his eyes when he's wearing a mask too. You know what I'm saying? It's like
he has contact lenses as cameras, brother. To be honest though, they got that somewhere.
That is fire, at least in my opinion. But you're telling me that the name, people can't control their names, dude. People have crazy names.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for them sometimes. But Oswald Cobblepot, man, leave the source material alone. Cobblepot is a cool name. It sounds like it came from wealth, from the 1800s, founding families of Gotham. That's what it feels like. To short it to Oz Cobb, you think of Oscorp, you think of corn on the cob, and it just makes way for a bunch of just dumb jokes because that's what it sounds like.
It does.
Oz Cobb.
Oz Cobb.
That's terrible.
Oh, no, it's not good.
Why would they do that?
It's not good. Not to say the show's not going to be good, because I think it'll be amazing in every sense, but just keep it. I get Oz, but Cobblepot, you should keep the classic Cobblepot.
What's wrong with Oswald? How is that? His mom is a weird person, right? At least in the Gotham show. Yeah. But Oswald is not the craziest name. If you were on the street and someone said, "My name's Oswald," you might be like, that's not a Michael or a John.
Of when they in Spider-Man No Way Home they were laughing at Otto Octavius' name. That was stupid. That was just. It's not a silly name.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
you never do that in real life. So just I don't know. I love Matt Reeves, and we always sing his praises. But this is kind of one of the first, I don't know if you consider it a huge change, because nothing in his character really changes. But it's
just a disagreeable.
I don't even think it's that head scratch. I just think it's dumb.
Yeah.
Why would he change it?
I also agree. I think it should have stayed. It's similar to even in the Cape Crusader show, they changed her to a woman. I don't even think they changed her name. To be honest, it was still Oswald, wasn't it?
Was it actually?
I can't remember if it was Oswald or Oswalda. I can't remember, but
Oswaldina.
I don't remember, but I don't know. I think it's dumb. But
yeah.
More on that basis, though, there's still being implied heavy rumors. It's already been confirmed by Matt Reeves that the Batman Part 2 will take place during winter. So a lot of people are going to say Mr. Freeze is coming and all of this stuff, which I would love.
That'd be so cool.
But I don't know, it doesn't really. It's a fantastical villain. Kind of.
Exactly,
so how would that work?
I have a harder time. Mr. Freeze would be cool, in Winter, but he's not Winter solely. Kind of the only villains you think that wouldn't work super well in Winter would maybe be a Poison Ivy, a Clayface, maybe, which he's not going for. When I hear Winter, I think of Arkham Origins, right? You're fighting guys on Christmas Eve that time, the fight with Deathstroke, And that's what I think about when I think Snow.
I would think it would fit because, considering the whole basis of where the last Batman left off with the whole flood thing, him emerging and, wanting to freeze Gotham in this capacity over the winter or creating a winter in Gotham or something like that. I could see being a potential thing, but it's also that dips into the fantastical elements that I'm not sure he wants to do.
Yeah.
But I would love to see, because the only other time we got a live action Mr. Freeze was the atrocious version of Batman Robin. No offense to Arnold Schwarzenegger, you did what you could, but it was not a good version of the character, and I'd love to see.
Terrible.
And I feel like out of all the Batman villains, Mr. Freeze is the only one we haven't really got a really great interpretation of.
Yeah.
So I would like that, but I'm not. We'll see how they do in this more Oz Cobb universe.
Side note: do you know that he pays Warner Brothers $1 a year to keep that suit?
Really?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like officially rented
$1 a year.
He pays $1 a year to Warner Brothers so he can keep the suit.
$1 a year, I'd shoot. Yeah,
I know, especially when you're
that's
him.
A great deal.
That's. I mean, to us, it's
nothing.
really nothing, but of course to him too. So
yeah.
I think Batman in the winter would be cool though. Imagine like you see the snow coming down on him as he's beating up some criminal. I don't know. That's just such a cool shot. Plus,
it would be cool.
You know how the first Batman is like with the red and everything
it's
with
Halloween.
the shots. This one, like, in the movie poster, this one's gonna be blue, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a cool like color change.
Saturday, October 31st. And instead of that, it's like Monday, December 25th, or something like that.
It's just cool. Dark and
be cool.
Snow coming. Oh, that's cool, man.
That would be cool.
He puts on the Santa hat.
All right, so some more info about the Batman universe is we already knew that apparently the Arkham Asylum series that they were planning had been canceled, along with the whole Gotham PD series has also been canceled. But apparently another potential series is in the works for the Matt Reeves Batman universe. So I'm wondering if this is one of those like Scarecrow, Professor Pig, one of those stories that we've been rumored to get a series of.
Yeah.
This could be maybe one of those, or maybe could it be a potential another series that they're looking at a character. Maybe if they're like similar to what they did in the first Batman establishing Penguin getting a show, maybe it's going to be about a character they established in the Penguin part or the Batman part 2. I don't know. What do you think?
I imagine it's going to be smaller in scale. I can't imagine how much money they've spent on this Penguin show with the A-lister like Colin Farrell. Just the fact that they're willing to move away from the Gotham PD and the Arkham Asylum stuff just makes me think, that the person that they're going to go with is going to be heavily tied into the next 2 movies.
Yeah.
At least. So I think the Professor Pig and that stuff would, work just fine. But whatever it is, I think it'll be smaller. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't go with the A-list actor, but just kind of as a transition between movies, because I think that would work a lot better than a PD show or an Asylum show between movies.
I'm really sad still that they canceled the Arkham Asylum plans, because I just out of all the shows they could do, that'd be so cool with like you can easily make like Dr. Harley Quinn, Zell your main character, or even Paul Dano's Riddler your main character. The Asylum. I mean, there's so many cool potential ideas that you could do with Arkham Asylum and explore so many like lesser known characters in it, like Calendar Man.
It's just him counting down the days.
Yeah, like like you could do the Calendar Man, or have Hugo Strange be the main villain and behind the scenes of Arkham Asylum.
The streets are saying to cast Dave Bautista as Hugo Strange because
really?
He just slimmed down a lot. Well, no, he just lost a ton of weight. Have you seen him recently?
I have not seen him.
Dude, he's super skinny.
Really?
Yeah, he lost a ton of weight. I don't know if it's Ozempic or what, but he's really skinny now apparently. And everyone's like, dude, he looks like him.
Okay.
He'd be a cool Hugo Strange.
I still think he'd be a cool Bane too, though.
Because he said he lost it because he wanted to stop getting typecast as those bigger guys. So he's like, I want to be able to play other roles too.
He's definitely the best WDB actor we've ever had.
He's so good, man.
We'll
he's
see.
so good.
All right. So to move on over to Marvel news, some cool new stuff when it comes to Marvel is apparently we've been talking about the rumors of Ultron's return and Vision Quest and then Armor Wars and the returns of James Spader. But it's also been reported that there may be leaning towards doing a humanoid version of Ultron as to the android that we know.
What does that even mean?
So in the comics, there was a version of a human Ultron, like it was a human entity of Ultron. And they may want to adapt that instead of going back and doing the android again, like they did in Age of Ultron.
I love the android.
I do too.
That's how it was in comics too, right?
Yeah, for the majority. I mean, there was a human counterpart in like a lesser known, but most of the time it's a flipping, he's a beast. He's a monster.
I know, man.
He's a really great villain. So I would love to see that more so in what we got, because we didn't really get a good version in Age of Ultron. We got a good version. We just didn't get the potential that we deserved. So I don't like this necessarily idea of a human version of Ultron.
I don't either.
Yeah,
and especially if you're trying to attract people to your show, you'd want Ultron to look and be the same.
See, the only reason I could say them doing this is the whole like ploy. It's the same thing. Like, for example, is giving your people a face. It's like the same thing. The reason they gave Paul Bettany a face instead of making him the Vision makeup all the time, showing me sure it's like, it's Paul Bettany, he's in the show, or be like, instead of it being him and CGI or whatever, he's in, he's a humanoid. It's James Spader. It's him in actual life, but he's Ultron. Or like how Star-Lord never wore a mask in Guardians 3 or whatever else, something like that kind of deal, which I hate. It's like they're characters. I mean, we don't care about their face.
Like, I was mad when, they finally made Pedro Pascal take off his helmet, as the Mandalorian. Like, that's who he is.
I'm thankful he doesn't do it often because, I'm glad that he didn't take it off and they never put it back on because that's just who he is as a character. And it makes me appreciative of like Deadpool and Wolverine, who he always kept his mask on for the most part, except for occasional scenes.
When you're A-list and you're getting paid like $20 million, $30 million a movie, man, like
who cares if your face is shown?
Yeah, bro, we know who you are.
Yeah, we know who you are.
You don't have to show your face.
And you can act through the mask. You just gotta be good.
Yeah.
You just gotta be good enough to do it. So we'll see. All right, the next portion is some more Secret Wars news. As there's been so much ramping up about that movie coming up, and that being that potentially the Council of Reed could take place. So we may see multiple versions of the character Reed Richards in Secret Wars. So for example, John Krasinski,
there we go,
Miles Teller, Pedro Pascal.
Miles Teller would be crazy, yeah,
and Ewan Gutford or whatever his name is that did in 2005, 2006, and like having all four of them. I mean, it'd be really cool to see all of them together. Miles Teller just shows up.
I know, bro. Which is crazy because he has some of the best acting chops of those guys there. He just got stuck in a bad situation.
Oh, yeah. Bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't say. But, I'd love to see Miles Teller come back and do something with Marvel.
Yeah, really. I agree. It'd be so cool to see him back and, instead of having the line, of where Ben Grimm goes, man, it's fantastic. You said
again.
What? Say that again.
Go say that again. Have you seen all those memes about that?
It's so bad.
That's
such a bad movie. I think that was like the first movie because that came out 2015. So I was in like 7th grade. I think that was the first movie I walked out of theaters because I saw it in theaters and I was like, that's a bad movie. I think that may have been the first movie I did because in elementary, middle school, like every movie's just a fun, good movie,
yeah.
But I think that might have been the first movie I was like, that was a bad movie.
That's a critical point in your development.
Right
watching
there,
this movie,
realizing that
you're like, all right, now I can judge.
That is not a good movie. Yeah,
that's funny.
That's funny. All right, next piece. This is a really interesting news. It's been reported that Henry Cavill could potentially come back as Wolverine.
Man, this would make so much money.
It'd be perfect.
Dude, it would be the biggest possible screw you to Warner Brothers if Marvel brings them on as a Wolverine, in a different universe. Like, no one cares. Everyone loved what we saw.
Take my money.
Take it, bro.
Take my money.
I know. They've done him so bad. But yeah, just seeing him, woo, that'd be awesome.
I mean, it was awesome in Deadpool and Wolverine. Spoilers, but it'd be so cool, like if they had him be the Wolverine of the future of the MCU.
Yeah,
I would just love it. But based off some other news that we got, this may not be the case because it's been reported that Hugh Jackman could continue to play Wolverine beyond Secret Wars, and that X-Men movie, the X-Men movie that comes out after Secret Wars, will not have Wolverine in it at all.
Okay.
So I'm not necessarily mad at this because
what's it saying?
It's potentially saying that they're going to do the original X-Men. And like the original X-Men comprised of Cyclops, Jean Grey, Professor X, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. That was the original X-Men. So maybe that they're leaning and they're going to do that. They're going to do the original X-Men and then bring in the next movie, Storm, Wolverine, Colossus, those characters that, you didn't get before. But so now we're getting them again.
But it wouldn't be that Hugh Jackman Wolverine, right?
No, I would assume by then it may be
Henry
Cavill
be the same universe?
I don't know. We don't know yet. Secret Wars is really going to be the kind of the central point of how it's going to change or how it's not going to change and what characters we're going to see because we already know Fantastic Four takes place in another universe, so they got to transition over somehow. But we also do know that Secret Wars is going to play as a soft reboot for the MCU, so I don't know what potentially could be the idea surrounding this.
Yeah, I'd love to see Henry Cavill. Someone who's that big might not want to take up those shoes too. Yeah, big shoes to fill. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with a no name, someone just trying to prove, their ability. So
that's what they did with Hugh Jackman. I mean, Hugh Jackman wasn't really big until
he wasn't massive,
Wolverine.
Yeah. So, pretty much all the big stars. And, the beginning of Marvel weren't either. But.
Yep. That's it. That's it. All right. The next piece of news when it comes to Secret Wars is that Mark Ruffalo's Hulk and Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye are reported to be in Secret Wars.
Yeah, what version of Hulk are we getting, though?
I know. What version of Hulk? Are we getting a whole professor, or are we getting our angry Universal World War Hulk, which we want so badly?
I saw something depressing the other day, and it said, we haven't seen Bruce Banner transform into the Hulk since 2012.
Have we not?
Think about it.
Did we not know?
Besides the original Avengers.
Yeah. Did we not in Age of Ultron?
I'm pretty sure there's not a scene of him transitioning.
Really?
Yeah.
Not in Ragnarok either?
No, he's Hulk the whole time.
Well, he's not Hulk the whole time. He's Mark Ruffalo, or he's
Bruce
Banner
but it doesn't
sometimes.
show it.
It doesn't
That's
show him
like him going into angry
and
Hulk.
going and changing. Really?
Think about it.
That is super sad. We've never.
How long has it been? 12 years?
It's been a long time.
And that's Marvel's probably second biggest character.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah.
Wow. So, that's disappointing.
Makes me sad.
Marvel, you screwed the Hulk.
I want. Bring back what's his face, Norton.
Edward Norton.
Dude, he's such a good actor, man. He's so versatile. Bring him in that style back. I want to see destruction.
I want to see Hulk go full Hulk, baby.
Bro, come
so
on.
bad.
Come on.
So bad. And then Jeremy Renner coming back is also super cool.
Ronan? Is he coming back as Ronan, you think?
No, I say he'll probably.
That would be cool.
I mean, unless he does decide to come back as Ronan or something.
Everybody.
Maybe he's a variant as Ronan. I don't know.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Why not? They could do variants.
And then I'm assuming Chris Hemsworth is also coming back. So that would be 3 out of the original 6 that are still going to be around come Secret Wars. And then one of the other original 6 is going to be Doctor Doom. So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes when it comes time.
Is Captain America dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
He's for sure.
Have we seen a funeral? I can't remember in the main
timeline.
But
I'm pretty sure they.
He's just like super old. He's walking in with the cane.
Yeah, I know. He's just like, I can do this all day.
Trips on a rock and dies.
He has
a heart
Gets
attack.
obliterated by Doctor Doom in an instant. He's like, who was that guy?
That'd be funny.
He could do this all day.
Yeah.
No, he could.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious, man.
That would be funny. And then Chris Evans comes out and he's Magneto.
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah, but we want Fassbender though.
Dude, I know we want
Fassbender, man. Come on,
that'd be amazing.
And James McAvoy, of course.
Bring him back. All right, next piece of news is that Steven Spielberg is reportedly in talks with Marvel to maybe direct one of their future movies.
I cannot believe this.
I know.
I saw it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, and it could potentially be Young Avengers.
Really?
Young Avengers could be
You would think with Spielberg that he would do something, I feel like a little more
like an origin story or something like that. But I mean, Spielberg
or something that everyone would recognize.
Yeah, Spielberg's a goat. So.
I know, man. He's one of the best ever.
Yeah. So for him to do a Marvel movie, that'd be so cool.
I can't imagine.
Because I still want him, like, out of all the superheroes, I feel like he'd do the best at Superman.
I know, man.
But
he would do so good.
He did such a good Superman.
His style would fit so well.
Oh, yeah.
But he's so versatile, man.
He is.
You watch Jurassic Park, and then decades later, you watch, like, the Fablemans.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how is this the same?
I mean, that's why he's one of the best ever.
Yeah.
And some people consider him the best. So,
whoa.
It's what an awesome director. It's still coming back. I mean, it'd be really cool to give him Marvel. But it'd be surprising for him to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if he says no.
Yeah, his lead is like Haley Steinfeld in that movie.
Would be the lead. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I don't think he would do that. To be honest,
that would be crazy. I don't know. But I just worry that Marvel would bring in someone of his stature. And then they would the execs would take over. Yep. Oh no, we want you to do this instead pushes. Yep.
Like same thing. I'm not saying Raimi's not on his level. He's really good, but that's what happened with. Well, I don't know why.
But with somebody like Spielberg,
that's what happened.
I feel like they wouldn't do that. I feel like they'd be like,
"You got to be hands off, man.
Hands off. Give it to him.
Let people create." And that's why some of it changed with Eternals because they were really hands off with it, and I thought it was really good. But they're like, "Oh, we didn't make as much money as we should have, so we're gonna make the decisions from here on out."
Eternals does not deserve the hate. It really does not. It does
Chloe
not.
Zhao is so good. She's won an Oscar for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's best director, so I don't want to hear it.
Yep. All right. And then from one extreme to another potential director is rumored to come and direct potentially an X-Men movie or a Mutant Saga movie. And that being M. Night Shyamalan.
Good gracious, man.
He's very hit or miss.
Yeah, no, he's extremely hit or miss.
Very hit or miss. He's directed one of the worst movies of all time.
Yeah.
And then
he's directed some really good
movies.
stuff like Split, Signs, The Sixth Sense.
And then he's directed The Last Airbender.
Yeah, in The Last Airbender. So
which is
the thing with him is I think he's a good director, but he's a terrible writer. And his old stuff when he did a lot more directed and not as much writing, it made a lot more sense. His problem is he throws in a twist at the end. So if he's doing like an X-Men movie, there's going to be a twist where like the X-Men were the Y-Men the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's a parallel universe. You're like, okay, just something dumb like
something
that.
Something dumb, yeah.
But
really
his stuff,
bad.
it's most of his stuff nowadays is pretty mediocre. Yeah. But
I don't know.
That'd be
I
interesting.
mean, if you give him the right tools or something, I always thought it'd be kind of cool to see M. Night Shyamalan and Tim Burton do a movie together.
Oh my goodness!
And like combine their styles.
That's crazy.
That would be kind of an interesting thing. Like, give me Tim Burton's writing and then M. Night.
Tim Burton with Blade or something like that.
I don't know if he could do Blade. Like, I feel like
it's dark but quirky.
It's dark.
Like
and quirky.
even the Chocolate Factory movie is dark.
But I don't feel like that's Blade. I feel like that Constantine. That will be. He could do a really good.
You think so? See, I think Constantine's a little too. You think it's too serious for?
I feel like Blade's too serious.
Yeah, Blade is serious.
But Constantine's not like a
jokey guy either.
No, but I feel like he's got a little bit of quirkiness to him. But I don't know what could Tim Burton direct. What would be
Scarlet Witch movie?
Scarlet Witch movie might go.
Raimi keeps on coming up in my mind. He'd be great. Maybe Scarlet Witch. I
don't know what Tim Burton could
be
do.
Good. Yeah, it's hard because you think like dark stuff, but with like a quirky too, like maybe like an early Loki or something like that.
Like a Loki movie would be cool.
Yeah,
like him as the tree and expand it. Like that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
All right. Next piece of news is that Scarlet Witch film is apparently set out to come out in 2026.
Okay.
Ooh.
When does this take place?
We don't know. We don't have any idea. I hope that Agatha, House of Harkness. Wait, that's not what's it called?
I don't know.
Agatha All Along, because they change it all the time.
I really don't know.
They change it every day. But Agatha All Along.
I wake up every morning and I count how many days it is till it comes out. Do you know that? I have a reminder on my phone.
Oh, till Agatha comes out?
Yeah, I'm like, 13 more. No, I don't.
Are you sure?
12 more. You know what? Let me set a reminder.
Well, set you a reminder that it comes out in
12
2
days.
12 days of Christmas. I mean, Agatha
came to me.
I don't know.
I don't actually know that song. She's so good. You already know if Adam Scott's going to be in the movie in the series too. I feel like anything she's in, he's also in too. Yeah. Like they're inseparable.
All right, so that's cool. We'll see. I mean, they'll have to revive her somehow or do something or some type of universe with the movie.
I hope she's alive.
Oh, she better be alive.
Dumb to kill her off like that.
Don't change it to be like a different universe version. Just give me my
just say
Wanda.
she escaped in the end.
Exactly. Next piece of news is that Destin Daniel Cretton will be doing Spider-Man 4. How do we feel? He did Shang-Chi.
First of all, I feel the best about the fight choreography.
Oh, it's gonna be fire.
Think about Spider-Man fight scenes with Tom Holland with the Shang-Chi level fights.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so cool, man.
Yeah.
Like
I honestly think like, because me and you, we didn't hate Shang-Chi, but we didn't love it. Yeah. But
it goes downhill once they get to that Magic City place.
Yeah, exactly.
It really does.
Exactly. And I mean, but Trevor. I love Trevor. Anyway, it's so good.
What's the name of his
his pet? Like faceless pet?
Yeah,
I forgot.
That thing's so cute.
I need to rewatch Shang-Chi. I think I'd enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Now. But I think this guy, like Destin Daniel Cretton, would do amazing with Spider-Man. I really do. I think he could do a really, really good job.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about it, like, as far as, the swinging and the fight scenes and stuff goes, like, I think Tom Holland's probably had the worst compared to the other two Spider-Mans, you know? I want to see more of that side. So bringing in someone like this who did Shang-Chi, where, all of this choreography, stunts were amazing, I think it's a good move.
I think it is, too, and I think he could do a really good job
Plus,
with
like, Shang-Chi it's very simple. Like the plot, the premise, it didn't feel like anything was really pushed too hard. He had a clear idea and he accomplished it. And I imagine that with Spider-Man will go over pretty well.
Yep. I agree completely. And from what I've heard from Spider-Man 4, like we said, it's, is it going to be street level? Is it going to be multiversal or whatever? From what I heard, it's going to be street level with a light tense of multiversal stuff. Okay. So it's going to be like light. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes from there.
I'm interested.
All right. So some updates for Thor 5. To where Taika Waititi's not coming back. Thank you.
Bow on our knees and lift our hands to the heavens.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But anyway, some update is that it's going to take place between Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Okay.
Hercules is going to be the big co-star. It's going to have Thor and Hercules will have a feud, kind of Asgard versus Olympus kind of deal.
Buddy cop, aren't
That's
they?
my fear, man.
They're going to make it a buddy cop
a Logan level movie is what I want for Thor.
A proper send off.
Yeah. So if they ask Taika to come back and it's a buddy cop and it's going to be like 100%. Called like Thor, Gods of Olympus or something like that, something stupid.
That's how it always goes, because Hercules wants to kill Thor or something, and then they're gonna fight halfway through the movie and make up, and then they're gonna
have some ultimate villain that they have to fight together.
Enemy together.
I
promise it's gonna be one of those.
I want that unless they do like a really dark tone. Logan style movie with Hercules as kind of your villain, and then kind of the saved villain, cool, kind of like a Namor type.
Okay.
I think that would work.
See, I think the Hercules route they shouldn't have done it, to be honest. I realize everyone knows who he is, right? He's one of the biggest characters ever in mythology. But I feel like they've backed themselves kind of into a corner now. Yeah. With how the last Thor movie ended. Where does it go from here?
I know.
I mean, think about Chris Hemsworth. Like, how much longer do you think he wants to continue playing this character? Especially
he loves Thor, though.
But they've ruined his character.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? So, I don't know. I don't want to see a buddy cop. I don't want to see, what...
I want to see a really dark story. I really do, with the darks.
Just bring back, like, an Infinity War, you know?
Yep, that's Thor. What we want. That's
a little jaded, I don't know. I just don't have any faith.
I don't either. I agree. All right, now it's time for our challenge that you guys vote on weekly.
Come on.
We're super excited for it this week, as you guys voted for who would win in a fight.
So Instagram stories, baby. Stay tuned on those.
Stay tuned. And we have 3 cool fights for you guys, scenarios and you guys can chime in too. Go to our Instagram if you disagree with our thoughts with these fights. Comment your thoughts and give us who you think would win. But our first who would win in a fight is Gambit, super popular right now, big hero,
huge,
versus Boba Fett over in Star Wars.
Okay, ooh, that's good.
This is an interesting fight.
Yeah,
because you have powers versus no powers, but abilities and.
Boba Fett is him, really. In that
Boba
universe.
Fett is a dude.
He's probably the best. Is he the best bounty hunter in Star Wars, you think?
Ooh, it's him or Cad Bane.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. But I think Boba Fett beats Cad Bane.
I think so too. Wait, how did Cad Bane die again? Was it
Boba Fett?
Did we see him die?
I think so. And didn't he die in the Boba Fett show?
Yeah. See, that's how bad it was. I can't remember what happened. He killed him. All right.
I don't remember.
He was going against Jedi, right? Both of them were super cool.
Yeah.
So obviously,
Boba Fett's got super cool weapons.
His armor is cool.
Yep. But
he can fly.
You got Gambit, man.
You
can Gambit. Turn anything into kinetic energy that explodes. So if he just touched him, if he just touched his armor and blew him up, what's he gonna do?
So realistically, he'd have to stay in the air the entire time.
Yeah, realistically, he'd stay there and then shoot.
But he's a sharp shooter, though.
He is. He's a good shooter, and then Gambit's very evasive, though. He's a survivor.
I know.
So he'd be very evasive and throwing cards at him, in the air or whatever, and kind of blowing him out. So Gambit's chances, he'd have to blow out his jetpack.
Yeah. Plus with Gambit, when you think about a fight, you gotta think about like endurance and sustainability, right?
Yeah.
How many bullets can Boba Fett carry, and how much fuel is in his jetpack versus Gambit?
How much he can take?
He can probably take it and deal it out longer than Boba Fett can hold out.
You think?
Yeah. Because how much? I imagine Gambit could do that, right? As much as he wanted to.
Oh yeah,
with his powers. But think about Boba Fett, just to stay alive, probably, and stay in the fight, he'd have to keep a distance.
Yeah, but I feel like Gambit's still a man, so if Boba Fett gets one good shot off, Gambit's not really have a chance. I don't know. It's a very close call. I feel like it's always dependent on location scenarios, and that sort of thing. But
who gets the first hit in, really?
You could argue who gets the first hit in. How much fuel does Boba Fett have in his jetpack?
And they're both human.
Are we talking Lego jetpacks, or are we talking about authentic?
Oh, dude, Lego jetpacks make me so mad.
Dude, they don't have no power.
you float for like 2 seconds. You're like, are you kidding me?
I know,
man?
that was nothing.
I just started flying.
I know.
Also, man, unlocking Boba Fett in the original Star Wars Lego games was cool because his blaster was so cool, man.
Pew.
It's so cool, man.
It had such
Once
a good
I unlocked
sound.
him, I played him for so long.
Such a good sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, it's based off scenarios, but I think ultimately, we're obviously we're taking Prime Boba Fett, Prime Gambit.
Yeah.
So Emperor Strikes Back Boba Fett, and then Gambit.
This was a dude that Darth Vader trusted, to take out the top dudes.
Yep. And he took out Jedi.
Bro, Jedi, you gotta think. I know it's a different matchup, but a Jedi versus Gambit would be. You think how powerful Jedis are?
Yeah. So, I think Boba Fett ultimately takes it.
I'm leaning towards Boba Fett.
I'm leaning towards Boba.
He's
barely,
so cool, man.
But I love Gambit more probably as a character than Boba Fett. But I think Boba Fett takes it.
Man, he's a sniper. He's elusive. Yeah. He just has so much more tools at his disposal.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I mean, Gambit has a lot of cards. He's got a lot of cool explosive techniques. But ultimately, if Boba Fett's staying there, blast him, Gambit don't have a chance.
Like I said, if the fight goes on for a really long time, I could see Gambit winning just because he could probably hold out longer.
He might deflect it with his staff, but not for long.
Yeah, he's not a Jedi.
No.
You know, right? So
no.
I think Boba Fett would.
So we'll give it to Boba Fett. Let us know your thoughts about this fight. Our next fight is rather interesting. Is Daredevil versus Nightwing.
Oh man, they're essentially kind of like the same.
They're very similar.
They both have batons.
They both have the baton things.
Yeah.
They're both super acrobatic.
Yeah. I think Brady would probably argue that Nightwing would probably be more acrobatic, I would guess.
Well, naturally, because Fine Grayson's circus experience.
Honestly, where Nightwing has a leg up would probably be in hand-to-hand combat. Because
he's trained under Batman.
And he was Batman's best student.
He was Batman's best.
Right? I mean, he could go toe-to-toe with Batman. But on the other hand, he's just a man.
Yep.
Daredevil has the best senses of
he has amazing senses.
Human.
He can sense what Nightwing will do before he does it.
Yeah.
He can sense his
hear
moves.
everything,
he can hear his
smell
heartbeat.
everything.
He can spell his heartbeat. But Nightwing, I feel like, would prepare for that. I feel like he'd have some sort of sonic blast to take out his hearing or some sort of something that would.
Yeah, but then we start talking about prep time. Are we talking about prep time? Or are we talking about dropping them in a room and just saying go crazy?
What are the circumstances?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't really talk circumstances.
We didn't really necessarily. We talked prime
one.
both. So if we're talking prime both, then I guess prep time Nightwing would be prime. But I don't know.
Yeah, but obviously prep time Daredevil, he'd know, that he would use gadgets and stuff that he was fighting a Batman disciple. So I'm sure that. Realistically, I don't think there's a huge gap between their fighting abilities. Like Daredevil's one of the best of the best too.
They're so
similar. I think it just comes down to
circumstances
and Daredevil's powers and how that plays a factor.
Yeah.
Daredevil can take a beating. Yeah. Obviously, they both can.
I think it's ultimately comes down to who can last the longest and stand the longest hand to hand, and dependent on what they do. But I feel like Nightwing itself, even without prep time, would have some supplies on his person,
of course,
that he could defeat. Personally, I'm leaning Nightwing, just because I feel like he's probably, arguably, besides Batman, the best hand-to-hand combatant in comics, in DC and Marvel. So with that factor leaning in, and the factor of his knowledge, his superior detective skills based off Batman, and just superior fighting and acrobatic skills, I think he would take it. But Daredevil, obviously would put on a good fight.
I think I'll have to go Daredevil here and disagree. I just think with Daredevil's powers, I just think even with how elusive and agile Nightwing can be, I think Daredevil would be able to predict all that.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's probably he's Batman's disciple. He's just that good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too huge of a gap in terms of their fighting ability.
Yeah.
And I think Daredevil, is. I know Nightwing obviously holds back a lot more, but Daredevil, I think, would fare maybe better in just a bloody
brawl
match to death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not Punisher, obviously, in that sense. But I think ultimately it just comes down to one has powers and the other doesn't. And obviously, I'm considering, that Nightwing doesn't have a tool belt. At least is what I'm thinking. So I would probably have to go Daredevil, but I think it'd be extremely close.
I agree. So let us know what you think.
So
break or
cool,
tie,
man.
break or tie in the comments of Instagram, or let us know, DM us who you think, Daredevil or Nightwing. Or we may even post it on our Instagram story.
See if you agree. Yeah,
see if you agree.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, next person on who would fight. This is two very large scale villains.
Okay.
First one being Darth Vader, and then we have the Dark Lord himself, Lord Voldemort.
Wow.
Who would win?
That's good.
In a fight. This has been argued many of times, I feel
like. I think durability wise, I think Darth Vader can take a lot more beatings than Voldemort could.
He's a super powerful dude.
Voldemort is still a man,
all Voldemort would have to do is chuck Avada Kedavra.
You gotta think.
That's the theory.
He has a lightsaber.
Can
you
block Avada Kedavra with a lightsaber?
Because you can block him with the wand.
Yeah.
And the lightsaber is... I'm going to go ahead and say you can block the spells with the wand. Okay. So if Voldemort wants to beat him, he has to do some stuff where he's not throwing stuff that can be deflected back at him.
He'd have to do like
something like Dumbledore like point him in a thing of water to drown him or something like that. Plus, you factor in the Force.
Factor in the Force and how powerful Darth Vader is.
Vader can pull back a ship that's in the air.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
He can do tons more than that too.
Yeah,
I mean he's the most powerful Force user probably seen in movies.
I think. Obviously, I'm leading Vader here while I'm deciding, but I think if Voldemort really wants a chance to win, he has to get that first attack in instantly because
he'd have to hit the
combined with Vader's ability to he could take more, right? He could block Vada Kedavras. The Force is such a with the Force, like he could beat almost anybody just with the ability to choke or split someone in half.
I mean, he could literally choke Voldemort to where he couldn't even speak to cast.
That's what I'm saying. Or like cripple his hand or something.
Easily.
That's what I'm saying. But if Voldemort has spells to protect him from that stuff, he would have to play pretty defensively, like going in.
Voldemort would have to be very defensive and can very, very much cast Avada Kedavra a lot.
Plus, what if he just used the Force to break his wand? Is that possible?
I mean, anything's possible with the Force.
Well, I guess he can do magic obviously without his wand.
But I'm with you. I lean Vader. I think Vader would ultimately win. I mean, just the Force is a factor in and of itself.
The Force,
and the fact he's such a powerful Force user. If we were talking about like Kayad Mundi and Voldemort, I would say Voldemort. But we're talking about Vader, man. Like, I don't think Voldemort's got a chance.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm Vader. I'm extremely confident that he would win.
I agree.
Man, I was rewatching the fight scene with Dumbledore the other day.
So good.
And you see Voldemort going all out, dude, and Dumbledore just playing defensive, trying to protect Harry.
Yep.
And the stuff that Dumbledore was doing was like, blows your mind, man. I know. I just wish we just got to see like
longer.
Yeah, and really him go crazy because obviously Dumbledore was the most powerful. But yeah, man, that fight scene is so cool, man.
So good.
So cool. So cool. Man. Good stuff.
Yep.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And as always, if you liked it, please let us know by giving us a download and a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. We have a new feature on our episodes where you can send us a text message by following the link at the bottom of our episodes. You can submit your questions for Heroes Q&A there, or you can just shoot us a DM on Instagram. And speaking of, be sure to also check out our Instagram stories weekly for a chance to ask questions for our Q&A segments like we just did. Then also, if you want exclusive access to episodes, which include movie reviews and other fun stuff, subscribe to our membership, Heroes HQ. And then finally, feel free to also check out our YouTube channel and our Instagram at Heroes in the Moment.
And we just want to thank y'all for listening. And as always, we love you 3000.